They say there's an eye that doesn't just see the world, it knows it, an inner vision buried deep within us, older than language, older than civilization itself. It is the watcher behind your thoughts, the silent observer that perceives even when your eyes are closed. For centuries, mystics, sages, and seekers have whispered of this hidden gateway, the third eye. But behind the poetic imagery and esoteric symbols lies a truth so transformative that ancient orders sought to guard it from the uninitiated. This isn't just a spiritual organ or a gland in your brain, it is the interface between the seen and the unseen, the bridge between mind and soul, matter and consciousness. In this journey, we'll uncover the real meaning of the third eye, not as a fantasy or mystical ornament, but as a living technology of perception. We'll explore why ancient civilizations, from the temples of Kemet to the monasteries of Tibet, spoke of awakening it as the path to divine sight. And we'll pierce through the illusions surrounding it to reveal what it truly means to see beyond sight. But before we go further, if you've ever wondered how to speak to the universe and actually get an answer, how to receive synchronicities, guidance, or signs that cut through the noise of your daily life, then you'll want to check out my ebook, 5 Ways to Talk to the Universe and Actually Get an Answer. No BS. It's linked in the description and bio, and it's designed for those who are ready to move from curiosity to direct experience. Now, take a deep breath. Focus on the space between your eyebrows, because what we're about to explore isn't just ancient wisdom, it's the key to remembering what you truly are. The third eye has many names. In the East, it is the Ajna chakra, the seat of intuition, symbolized by an indigo flame between the brows. In ancient Egypt, it was the Eye of Horus, a symbol of divine perception and protection. In the hidden schools of Greece, it was called the Eye of the Soul, through which the philosopher could perceive pure truth, unclouded by illusion. Though the names differ, the essence remains the same. The third eye represents awakened consciousness, the power to see reality as it truly is. But history has a way of burying dangerous truths. The priests of old knew that perception creates reality. If humanity remembered how to see beyond the physical, the illusion of separation would dissolve, and with it, the control systems that thrive on ignorance. So, the knowledge was coded into myth, symbol, and sacred geometry. The all-seeing eye atop the pyramid, the serpent coiling upward the staff, the halo of light above the enlightened, all point to the same hidden truth. Awakening the third eye is not about gaining new sight, but remembering the vision you already possess. Philosophers like Plotinus described this awakening as the flight of the alone to the alone, the moment when awareness turns inward and beholds its own infinite nature. The Vedic texts call it Jnana Chakshu, the eye of wisdom, revealing the illusory nature of the material world. In esoteric Christianity, it was the single eye Christ spoke of. If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. What all these teachings hint at is profound. The third eye was never meant to be a mystical curiosity. It was a map, a blueprint for transcending the limits of ordinary perception. Yet over centuries, dogma replaced direct experience. The symbolic became literal. The sacred became superstition. And so, humanity forgot not only how to see, but what it was meant to see. Now, as the tides of consciousness shift once again, the old knowledge resurfaces. The question is, no longer does the third eye exist, but rather, what happens when you finally open it? To understand the third eye, we must first abandon the notion that it is something mystical or external. It is not a hidden organ waiting to be found. It is a state of awareness waiting to be remembered. The third eye is not about seeing visions. It's about seeing truth. When awakened, it shifts perception from the fragmented to the whole. Imagine for a moment that life is a vast tapestry, but you've only been looking at a single thread. The third eye allows you to step back and see the entire pattern, the connections, the synchronicities, the subtle energies weaving through every experience. Physically, many traditions link it to the pineal gland, that tiny pine-cone-shaped structure at the center of the brain. Ancient philosophers called it the seat of the soul. And modern science admits its peculiar nature. It contains light-sensitive cells, produces melatonin, and even responds to electromagnetic fields. But its true power lies beyond biology. The pineal gland is a symbol, a doorway through which consciousness perceives higher frequencies of reality. When closed, the mind sees only surfaces. When open, it sees through them. It perceives emotion behind words, energy behind matter, cause behind effect. This is why awakened mystics seem to radiate calm clarity. They are not deceived by appearances. They've learned to see with the inner eye, and yet this awakening doesn't happen by force. You cannot pry open the third eye through willpower or ritual alone. It unfolds like a flower under the right conditions. Silence, self-observation, and truthfulness. Every time you pause before reacting, every time you question a belief, every time you look inward rather than outward, you polish the lens of this inner vision. The real mystery is this: the third eye doesn't just let you see the world differently, it creates the world differently. Because perception and reality are not separate. The seer and the seen are one. And when that truth dawns, the veil of illusion begins to thin. The deeper you journey into the mystery of the third eye, the more you realize it is not about gaining new powers, but about losing illusions. The illusions of separation, of control, of permanence. This eye does not open outward, it opens inward, revealing the infinite expanse of consciousness that was always there. Many imagine opening the third eye as a sudden burst of light or psychic ability, but in truth, it's more like waking from a long, vivid dream. The world doesn't change, you do. Colors appear richer, sounds sharper, emotions more transparent. You begin to sense the silent intelligence moving behind every coincidence and every challenge. You no longer see the world as random, but as a mirror reflecting your inner state. Ancient mystics warned that this awakening can be both liberating and unsettling. When the veil lifts, the self you thought you were begins to dissolve. The boundaries between you and everything else blur. It can feel like standing at the edge of infinity, beautiful, yet overwhelming. This is why initiates were always guided, purified, and prepared before being taught the inner arts of perception. The third eye demands clarity, humility, and surrender. It is said that when the third eye opens fully, the duality of existence fades. Light and dark, good and evil, birth and death, all are seen as movements of one eternal consciousness. This is what the sages meant when they said, "The enlightened see God everywhere." They were not speaking metaphorically, they meant it literally. And yet, in today's world, this knowledge is often distorted. Some chase psychic visions, hallucinatory experiences, or shortcuts through artificial means. But those are reflections, not revelations. The true awakening of the third eye is not about escape, it's about presence. It's about standing so fully in awareness that illusions simply cannot survive. When you begin to see through the third eye, you stop asking for signs from the universe and start realizing you are the sign. Reality responds to your inner clarity like a mirror to light. You don't just perceive energy, you become conscious of being energy itself. This is the secret most seekers overlook. The third eye is not a mystical destination. It's a return home to the part of you that never stopped seeing, even when you forgot how. So how do you actually awaken the third eye, not as an abstract concept, but as a living experience within you? It begins, as all sacred work does, in silence. The third eye opens not through effort, but through stillness. The ancient seers taught that perception expands when the mind contracts, when thoughts dissolve, like ripples fading from a pond. Start with 5 minutes a day. Sit in quiet awareness. Focus gently on the space between your eyebrows. Breathe deeply, slowly. Feel your attention drawing inward like a current returning to the ocean. You're not trying to see anything, you're allowing your natural clarity to surface. Over time, patterns in your awareness begin to shift. You'll notice more synchronicities, little alignments that feel almost too precise to be coincidence. You'll sense energy behind words and intentions. You'll feel when something is true, even if logic can't explain why. This is the subtle vision of the third eye intuition, refined by consciousness itself. Another practice is inner observation. Throughout the day, watch your reactions without judgment. When anger arises, observe it. When fear surfaces, observe it. The third eye thrives on awareness without attachment. The more you witness yourself, the less control these emotions have over you. It's as though a light turns on in a dark room, the shadows lose their power. For those who wish to deepen the experience, you can work with vibration and breath. Ancient chants like Om were not random sounds. They were frequencies designed to activate higher centers of perception. Chant it softly, letting the vibration resonate in the skull. Feel it pulsing behind your forehead. This isn't superstition, it's ancient neuroacoustic science. The sound acts as a tuning fork for your inner awareness. You can also integrate the third eye into daily life. When speaking with someone, don't just listen to their words, listen to the energy behind them. When walking outside, look at the world as if it's alive, breathing, communicating. This shift, from looking at things to looking through them, changes everything. And remember, patience is key. Awakening the third eye is not an event, it's a gradual alignment. Each moment of mindfulness, each act of honesty, each breath of awareness polishes that inner mirror a little more. One day, without effort, the world will seem brighter, deeper, more connected, and you'll realize that you never truly opened the third eye. It opened you. The third eye is not a destination, nor a mystical trophy earned after years of spiritual discipline. It is a remembering, a return to a vision that has always been yours, waiting beneath the noise, beneath the conditioning, beneath the layers of who you were told to be. When this inner sight awakens, life stops feeling like a series of disconnected moments and begins to reveal itself as a living, breathing tapestry of meaning. Patterns emerge, intuition sharpens. Reality becomes less something you look at and more something you participate in. As you walk this path, you'll notice the subtle shifts first, the way certain truths resonate in your bones, the way synchronicities cluster around moments of clarity, the way your inner voice becomes more trustworthy than any external noise. These aren't signs that you're becoming special. They're signs that you're becoming aligned. This is what the ancient mystics meant by illumination. Not beams of light from the heavens, but seeing the light that has always been within you. Yet the journey requires courage, because to see clearly is to confront the illusions you once depended on. It means letting go of the narratives that kept you safe but small. It means accepting that consciousness is not something you possess, it is something you are. When viewed through the third eye, the world becomes a mirror and every experience becomes a message. And so you arrive at the threshold of an ancient truth. You are not here to open the third eye. You are here to awaken the one who sees. If you feel called to deepen this connection, to move beyond theory and into direct communication with the universe itself, then explore my ebook, 5 Ways to Talk to the Universe and Actually Get an Answer. No BS. The link is in the description and bio. It's designed for seekers who are ready to not only perceive the unseen, but interact with it. Remember, the eye is already open. Now,